best thing to do is keep an open and skeptical mind and not take an extreme position on any side of the question.
Astonishing, isn't that?
Wow.
I have a copy of the original textbook, the chapter. I'll find it for you somewhere.
This is what's fascinating to me. Such contact may have already taken place secretly and may have taken place on a different plane of awareness. And we are not yet sensitive to communications on such a plane. What does that mean?
It's just an Air Force textbook, dude. Don't worry about it.
Wow. 50,000 credible sightings they're citing. And this is in
66, I think, is when that chapter was out.
Wow.
They just let that guy slip in a chapter. I mean, that's crazy.
You know, and then the skeptic would say, why aren't we seeing them more?
Yeah,
Because they don't want to be seen?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we are, we know there's 8 billion people, right? And so is it every day someone sees something?
In your world, you're like, why aren't we seeing them all the time? In my world, it's like, God damn, dude, every day I'm inundated with reports from credible people that were, have been served in the military, that don't want to be known, they just want to be heard, they don't even want me to repeat, so in my perspective, and I'm sure George's too, there's so much of this like contact with these unknowns on a regular. Have you ever asked a table of 10, has anybody ever seen a UFO or know somebody that does? Have you ever done that?
No. I've had conversations with friends, though. And, I've talked to guys who've seen some things that they couldn't explain.
Smart people you trust?
Yes. Yeah, not nuts. I mean, nuts for sure. But, nuts have told me that for sure. But
yeah.
I had one guy who was just like, I don't know what to say here. Like, it was really disturbing.
You didn't zoom in, Joe.
Well, it's like I didn't know this guy was nuts. I thought
enough. But then there's also different levels. So you'll have somebody come and say, I was working at a military installation and there were cameras everywhere and we captured this thing come through our facility, which is a totally restricted facility. We couldn't lock on it with our weaponry, so if you have like an aerostat or something and it's got this like thermal camera and you can lock on and shoot out a tire of an Al-Qaeda truck at 23 miles, they couldn't lock.
Oh, he's unique.
What is Finding Hitler all about? This is a show that you're on, and it's on A&E? Is that what it's on?
Yeah, A&E is the parent network. It airs on History Channel, and we just had our 3rd season that just finished airing.
What's the thought process behind this? Is it legit? Because a lot of people are like, Finding Hitler, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They found Hitler, he died.
Yeah, I mean...
Not really?
We don't know.
Right.
This isn't like Ancient Aliens. This is, they declassified a bunch of documents. Both the Israelis, the British, and the Germans and Americans in the past 20 years have been consistently declassifying documents. And there were a bunch of specifically FBI documents that we were spending millions and millions of dollars actively searching for Hitler after the war. As was...
Really?
Yeah, like millions of dollars. Like Hoover was like, no, send more FBI agents to South America, to North Africa, go to the Canary Islands, go to Spain, trying to find out where this guy went. Tons of real FBI documents with real leads, with real informants, some first eye accounts saying that they physically... So anyways, that's the show, is us trying to find out, sift through reality and the fiction of the allure, the mystery of that asshole.
So what's the official story? The official story is that he killed himself, right?
Yep.
He killed himself in the bunker with David Braun.
Yep.
And is there any photographic evidence of his death or anything?
Yeah. So the Russians got the body, and they got his skull. And when they brought it back to Moscow, nobody has ever been able to independently verify who and what this body is. They let one genetic test occur, and the body with the bullet holes that they said was Hitler, and have said, and that's the narrative, that's the story, that's all the eyewitness accounts that are even in the vicinity of collaborating with each other and corroborating each other's testimony. Like the closest version, because none of it seems to be very accurate, is that, okay, here's Hitler's skull, and when they did the genetic testing, it's that of a 35-year-old woman. So they're like, oh, well, this isn't Hitler, but they've said for the past 80 years that this is Hitler. So, okay, first, before we start throwing stones at Russia, let's go back to 1945, April, in Berlin. You have the Allies coming in, wrecking shop, dropping bombs, blowing everything up they can in every single which way. You have the Russians coming in from the opposite direction. They don't even have enough guns to arm all their soldiers. So if they have 200 guys, or 200,000 guys, they have 100,000 guns. If the guy in front of you dies, you just pick up his gun. That's what's happening in April of 1945 in Berlin. So the noose is tightening. There is no, I mean, it is chaos, anarchy, pandemonium. This is hell on earth, is Berlin, 1945. So I don't know if you could get a real story, the way that we do it now, where we have, this forensic experts that come in and document everything, and we look at all the different testimonies, say this is exactly how, it's not CSI. This is 1945 Berlin. It's crazy. So, I don't know.
So there's no, absolute proof.
No.
And a lot of Nazis did escape and go to South America.
The majority of anyone with power. The Nuremberg trials were not a witch hunt, but it was to close a chapter so we could start moving forward with communism. That's what it was. The threat of fascism, the threat of Hitler, the threat of killing all the Jews, the threat of world domination by the Nazis, that threat's gone. What's the next threat?
Communism.
It's communism.
Right.
So that had to be a closed chapter of our history so we could focus our resources and our efforts to what inevitably was going to, the wall goes up. We have
Right.
East and West Berlin. We're already looking at Korea. This happens almost overnight.
Right, very quickly.
When Patton's like, no, homies, we need to go all the way to Moscow. This is not the end of our war, and we didn't listen to him. We then have been, fighting communism for the past 75 years.
So the ones with power that went to South America, I know a bunch of them went to Argentina, but they think they went to Honduras and a few other places. Where do they think they wound up?
So what you had in South America, both Chile and Argentina back-to-back had fascist regimes. You had Perón, who was part of the Nazi party starting all the way back into the mid-30s. He's the president of Argentina. So the Red Cross, they were there was about 3 different rat lines that guys were able to successfully get out of Europe into South America. And there's no question that we're talking thousands, if not tens of thousands of high-ranking Nazis made it there.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. And I'm not talking like little soldiers. I'm talking high-ranking Nazis, officers, guys like Joseph Mengele and Adolf Eichmann. These are the most disgusting, despicable humans to exist at the time. If Hitler is dead, Joseph Mengele is the guy that would take syringes full of blue ink and inject them. Oh, you have blue eyes, Joe, or you have brown eyes. Let me see if I can make them blue.
Oh, wow.
And then take twins and start torturing them to see if one would feel the pain. That's Joseph Mengele. That's the guy that then in South America was helping high-ranking Argentinians have abortions, and he set up, have you seen the movie Colonia?
No.
About Colonia Dignidad, which is, if you're listening right now, I almost warn you not to Google it, because it was a torture camp that was started by Joseph Schaefer, a Nazi, and Joseph Mengele, the doctor of death that escaped trial in Nuremberg and made it at the behest of Perón into Argentina. He set up the hospital at Colonia Dignidad, which was another safe haven for more Nazis in South America. Golda Meir and Ben Gurion, the presidents of Israel, they took the gloves off and they were just sending assassins to try to find these people and kill them. But what you got in South America were isolated German-only communities. You could go into Bariloche, Argentina, and I'd be like, "Buenos dias, amigos," and they're like, "Guten Morgen?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I meant good morning. Yeah, sorry, it's 2017, right? I thought we spoke Spanish here."
So, in 2017, you were there, and they were speaking German.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, I don't look I might look more European than I do. So it's just them seeing me walking down the street and be like,
Wow.
yeah. And there's tons of communities. I mean, if you go to Colonia Dignidad, which is now called Villa Bavaria, the Bavarian village, it is only German.
Whoa.
In the center of Chile, in the mountains of Chile. Like, there's no Spanish being spoken there. It is exclusively German.
And these are the descendants of Nazis.
Powerful Nazis.
Holy shit. And this is going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are these communities like? I mean, what's their ideology? Are they...
I mean, they're pretty white.
Yeah, but are they like... I mean, do they espouse Nazi values or...
Not openly. So, Colonia Dignidad, if you look at the second generation, there's a bunch of... So, it was a huge problem for Chile that they tried to hide for years. And they got so much power from the torturing that they did at Colonia Dignidad on a whole bunch of other high-ranking South American dictators that they are almost untouchable. And this is, I mean, you'd blow your mind if you look into this, Joe. You'd love it. But the second generation, the kids, like the grandkids, sometimes they're even more fanatical than the original generation. Have you ever seen this? Where, like, if somebody's away from, like, when you travel abroad, man, it's so cool to get into the culture and get into the food and get into the, like, you're dancing this style and you love the flag and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to a soccer game because we don't go to soccer games in America, and then I'm gonna go. But then maybe after like 2 months, you kind of miss home, you know, and then like a year, like, you really miss home, and then 10 years, like, you really miss home. And you see the same thing in the United States, where it's not really a perfect assimilation. It's not the melting pot, where you see generations that are espousing to be more like their ethnic heritage than they are American. You know, they're flying the Irish flag and like, I'm Irish. Well, it's just times 1,000 with these communities because they're exclusively German.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of weird.
So, exclusively German and really missing home.
Yeah. Yeah. So
70 years later.
the second generations I was talking about, some of them came to the United States and were high-ranking white supremacists that are now in jail, in prison, for their racial crimes.
And they came out of South America.
They came out of Colonia Dignidad. They came out of Bariloche. They came out of
Holy shit.
Cordoba. They came out of Misiones. They came out of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. So that's the show, Hunting Hitler.
Fuck that.
And we maybe have 50 German communities.
50. How many people, if you had to guess?
A few 100,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
A few 100,000
Yeah.
descendants of Nazis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And man, it's weird when you walk into somebody's parlor and it's like you're stepping back in time into Europe. Like, I'm walking in, it's 2017, and I'm walking in Buenos Aires, Argentina, into somebody's parlor, and all of the tile is European, and all of the style and all the art is very German. You know, we have like deers and, you know, like not like red stags. We're talking German everything, things that Hitler loved. And that's the style, and that's everything. And then they come out and, like, with white gloves, they're holding their grandfather's memory box, and inside of it are his war medals from, you know, when he was in the SS or when he was, and it is the respect, I don't even know the
Reverence.
right. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like this is a gift from the Pope that they're holding in their hands. White gloves. No, I can't. First of all, Tim can't touch it. But I can appreciate it. And then they tell me the story of every single one of these things and how he got there, and how he then went and worked for the Buenos Aires News.
You can't touch anything.
Oh, they wouldn't. No, because I'm.
Or you're dirty.
I'm dirty.
Dirty American.
Look at these. Look at this.
You're too brown.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So we followed the first 2 seasons. It was really just unraveling the rumors of what happened to Hitler. The third season was my favorite because I actually got to do real work. They said, okay, I got to the second season, I got to bring in more special forces guys, a CIA targeter, Nadia, who helped my unit kill Zarqawi in 2006. This is the team that is now looking at real evidence, trying to figure out, okay, how did we find bin Laden? How did we find Zarqawi? we looked at their associates and we looked at how they moved. We looked at how they communicated. We looked at what routes they were using to get to and from places. And then we just started tightening the noose. And that's exactly what we did in this 3rd season was, okay, let's start following the Adolf Eichmanns. Let's start following the Joseph Mengeles. And let's start following the Skorzynskis. Hitler's personal bodyguard that was a colonel in the SS that went on to work for everybody after the war fighting. I mean, fascists do not like communists. So this guy was working for everybody, to include the CIA, fighting fascism in South America, or fighting communism as a fascist in South America in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Whoa.
Creepy stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, hunting Hitler.
Are there any legitimate eyewitness accounts of Hitler in South America? Or potentially legitimate?
Absolutely, potentially.
Whoa.
Yep. Eyewitness accounts. I saw him get off a boat. I saw him meet here. And if it was just some person saying it, it's almost meaningless.
Right.
But if you look at the context of who this person is, the wealth that they have that they shouldn't have, like, can you explain how you got so rich in 2 generations? You know, like, okay, your grandpa got here from Germany in 1946. That's weird. And he's on a legitimate visa with an Argentinian passport. Also weird. And now he's a war refugee that's now worth millions of dollars. How does this work? But people, and then this is the hard part, people want to be connected to significant events, and especially in small rural areas of the world, developing areas. Like there's so little happening. They want to be attached to something massive, and like the fact that they saw a U-boat land on this beach, and the hatch opened, and these cars were sitting there and they were doing Morse code, and this guy gets off and he had this little mustache. You're like, well, but U-boats can't beach. That's not how that works.
Right.
But you know what they're trying to do. They just want to be connected.
Yeah.
So, and now we're removed 70 to 80 years from the facts. It has been painful to try to use real science, real investigative tools to try to sift through this lore,
What do you think happened? I mean, you've been studying this for how long now?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
If you had a guess, if you had like $1 million, you got to put it on one side or another. Did he go there?
Yeah.
Whoa. Jesus Christ.
I would say, man, that's the first time I've ever said it flat out like that. What I want to say is, the way history is written is wrong. That's clear. There's no way that we can say he died on this day. This is what happened. Here is his body, and that's what
the physical proof is. For sure, the woman that head that they were saying was Hitler is definitely not Hitler.
It was absolutely not. That's a fact.
So they don't have Hitler's body.
So then our other option was, okay, is it Ava Brahms? Did they just grab the wrong body, right? So there are still descendants of Ava, and we tried to have them allow us to do it. Then we tried to go through like,
and they can get DNA off of the skull?
Yeah.
There's meat on it?
No, it's like a tooth. Yeah.
Okay.
And but they wouldn't consent to it. So then we tried to do, like where people have like the tree, their ethnic tree.
Yeah.
What is those websites called?
23andMe?
Yeah. There's like a bunch of them.
Right.
We tried to go that route, but
they wouldn't consent to it.
No.
The Ava Braun's family.
No, they just want it gone.
They just don't want it.
Yeah. They're super pissed that we even found them.
I'm sure.
Which was hard. Which was really hard.
Just hold them down, get them to spit in a bucket.
Yeah. I know.
I mean,
or pull their trash and pull stuff out of there. No, I would totally not do that.
Definitely not do that.
But
I mean, that's how they caught the Golden State Killer, right? It was off of a cigarette butt.
Yeah.
They got DNA off a cigarette butt.
So history's wrong.
Wow.
For it to be black and white like that, and again, if you go back to 1945, we needed scientists. We needed every single German electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, aerospace anything.
Yeah.
You're on the V2 program. We want all of you because now it's a race. It's a race. We have the bomb. Now we need delivery systems. Now we need to get to the moon. Now we need to, like all of those things are real time. It's a war of dollars and a war of science. And we got all those scientists.
Yeah.
The Russians didn't.
Well, they got some.
Some, not very
Yeah.
many.
Operation Paperclip is what brought over what Werner von Braun, who was, when you talk to Jews that were in Berlin during the time that Werner von Braun was running his rocket program there, he would hang the 5 slowest Jews in front of the rocket factory in Berlin just to give everybody motivation to work harder.
Yeah.
The Simon Wiesenthal Center said that if Werner von Braun was alive today, they would prosecute him for crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
He was a Nazi, straight up Nazi. And there's apologists that say, no, he was a scientist. He was forced into doing that. Like, that's like, okay, he's a Nazi.
Yeah.
There's photographs of him wearing Nazi garb, hanging out with Nazis. His rocket factory killed Jews. Like, these are all undeniable facts.
It's like the war ends and they're not Nazis
Right,
anymore. That's not how that works.
Exactly, but they were forgiven because they came over and contributed to our rocket program.
I'm not that good of a human. I don't have that
Yeah.
in me. I don't have that like, okay,
It's slippery,
you're forgiven.
man.
It's too far away. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yes.
I mean, I wrote a book about Operation Paperclip, and
Yeah.
my God, talk about a rabbit's hole.
That's
know?
a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole.
Let's explain to people that don't know what we're talking about. Operation Paperclip was when, after World War II, the United States gathered up a ton of scientists from Nazi Germany, brought them over to America, and even Werner von Braun. They had Werner von Braun run NASA. He was a Nazi, like 100% Nazi.
Good friends with Hitler type Nazi.
Yes, he ran a Berlin rocket factory where they hung the 5 slowest Jews. They would hang them out front so everybody would know, like, this is what happens when you work slow. We'll hang you. I mean, the Simon Wiesenthal Center said that if Werner von Braun was alive today, they would prosecute him for crimes against humanity.
Yes, they would.
And that was the head of NASA. That was the head of NASA. That was the guy who got us to the moon. That was the big cheese guy. Yeah. So we were willing to put a lot of really dark things aside in order to gather up the best scientists so that the Soviet Union couldn't get them all. And they got a few of them as well. But we got how many? More than 1,000, right?
Allegedly 1,400, but I would not be surprised if, the story changes and there were more, right?
Yeah.
But that goes back to our discussion earlier about being in pole position. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why we grabbed those Nazis. We were like, if we don't get them, the Russians will.
I get it. And, and I'm sure the Nazis could say, I didn't want to do it. They made me. I'm a nice person. I love Jews.
Well, that was part of the mythology. It was like, we got the good Germans. Well,
Right,
no, we
right,
didn't.
right.
We got the top Germans, and who do you think the top Germans were?
Yeah.
They were coveted by Hitler, Himmler, Goring,
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were, right. I mean, there were guys that we grabbed out of the docks at Nuremberg, literally, to come be part of our program, One of these
if you're
guys.
smart, you're an asset, right? I mean, that's what Genghis Khan used to do. He'd take warlords from the other side and capture them and go, listen, just come over here, bro. Come on. Work for me. I'm the man.
I mean, ideology aside, I'm super smart and I want that to be known. That's kind of that's the competitor, right?
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
you cannot be the best rocket designer in the world and not want those talents, demonstrated. That's
Sure.
Werner von Braun's story. That's the story of all of them. And that was so shocking writing that book, because it's like, wow, huge amounts of talent, but how far will the competitor go to see their baby come to fruition? What are they willing to put aside?
Yeah. Did you pay any attention to the other places where Nazis went when they escaped Germany? Like Argentina in particular? Have you ever seen any of that stuff? Where they have entire German towns down in Argentina?
Right?
They do Oktoberfest down there. They wear lederhosen. They drink out of steins. It's crazy.
The Oktoberfest procession in Blumenau, the most German of all Brazilian cities. Every October, the descendants of this city's German founders celebrate their heritage with a festival of their own. Blumenau's Oktoberfest numbers among Brazil's most popular and most exotic. And with some 600,000 patrons, it's the second largest in Brazil, after the famous carnival in Rio de Janeiro.
I'm here with him. We're both from Sao Paulo, and he invited me along. This is my first time here, and it's a great festival. Everything's fantastic.
I love this tradition that's been passed on from father to son for so many years. Such a joy, and the beer, of course, is very good.
The festival's marvelous, and the people are so hospitable. I love it and want to come back.
29-year-old sales clerk Dani Anna Luchtenberg has German grandparents. Today she'll be representing the old country as an Oktoberfest princess. She has no shortage of enthusiasm for it.
I'm very grateful. It's an honor because as a little girl, I dreamt of being Oktoberfest royalty, and here I am. It's indescribable. Everybody loves it. And lots of people join in for the parade. We love that too. It's a very emotional thing because it's a dream come true.
Then everyone heads to the fairground, the so-called Germantown. The revelers all join in, whether of German descent or not, and anyone who can shows up in lederhosen or dirndls.
It's a German festival, so we dress up as traditionally as possible, with the added bonus that those who show up in costume don't have to pay admission.
Wearing traditional dress, we feel like a part of the festival. And it's just nice.
Yeah, it's fun dressing like this.
The dishes served are typically southern German. Pork knuckles, spätzle, and most of all, lots and lots of Wurst. But the Brazilians prefer their pretzels with cinnamon and sugar instead of salt. The biggest attraction here is the beer. With a good 120 breweries, Blumenau is Brazil's beer capital. Patrons even bring their own beer mugs. The Queen and her 2 princesses make their daily rounds. They keep a tight schedule for the 3 weeks of the of revenue. Brazilians mistakenly believe that meter drinking is a typically German custom. The idea is to chug the contents of a 1 meter long glass tube as quickly as possible. The musicians of the Blumenau Stadtkapelle dance band get ready to go on stage.
I make most of the arrangements myself. We put together our own choreography and change the beat a little. But the aim is to preserve the character of the German music, since we're in a city based on German culture, but with a touch of the Brazilian.
Arrangements of German Oktoberfest standards performed with Brazilian flair. For instance, the Song of the Airmen is sung in both German and Portuguese.
But it doesn't compare with the Brazilians' charm. That's what makes our Oktoberfest so special.
I don't find the story appealing. I especially don't find the PvP elements, or sorry, not PvP, RPG elements of the game appealing. I don't find the shipbuilding appealing. I don't find ship combat appealing. I don't find the NPCs appealing. I don't find the weapons appealing. I don't find the story appealing.
Need help? Or the Alliance? Be careful. Light bless you. King's honor, friend. Go with honor, friend. Light bless you. Be careful. Go with honor, friend. For the Alliance. Go with honor, friend.
can I do for you?
Hey there. What can I do for you? You need something? Can I help you?
Greetings. Light bless you.
you soon. Be good. Safe travels. Keep your feet on the ground. Interest you on a pint?
See you later. What can I do for you? For the Alliance.
My, you're a tall one. Off and away. Pleased to meet you. You have a great day now.
Well met. Greetings. Hail. Goodbye. Be careful. Peace, friend. Ancestors watch over you.
What's up? Keep it real.
Okay. Did you follow her to her house? Hi, how are you?
Well, it was better about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I think she had a little. Well, my wife said I think she's impaired. I think she was too.
Yeah. So you didn't see the crash. You heard it.
No, I heard it and I looked and there was a car against my house.
And then you saw her get out. You helped her
No,
out.
she wanted to get out. I didn't care if she got out, wanted to look around, but she just headed down the alley.
Okay. Did you follow her to her house?
No, I recognized her after a while. I hadn't seen her dressed up like that before.
Oh, so you know who she is?
Well, I don't know her name, but I've seen her.
So, heard the crash and you did what? So you came over
Yeah,
and...
well, I could see it from there when I looked.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what?
Go or not? Probably should. But black.
What did she look like, the one driving?
Dark hair.
Dark hair.
Nice looking girl.
Nice looking girl.
Hispanic.
Nicely dressed.
Is it?
Nicely dressed.
I didn't know that. She's Hispanic.
What was she wearing?
Black.
Well, my wife said black.
Oh, black. She had like pants on like that. Yeah, it's black too.
Top was black as well.
Let me go get my.
She was wearing?
Yep. Oh, yeah, I saw her.
Doesn't matter to me, but...
Like a.
What was her? What do you got?
Vision. Looking for insurance. Banking. Driver's license.
I'll just advise if this is her. Hi there.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Are you guys?
Good.
The reason I ended up pulling you guys over, you guys were coming from that area over there. Did you end up just getting in a crash?
No.
No?
Not me.
Okay. Did you?
No, we live around there, but
Yep.
yeah.
What's your name?
My name?
Yep.
Stacy.
Stacy.
Yeah.
So if I run that black car, the registered owner is not going to come back to you or him?
The black car.
That hit the tree?
What do you mean?
10-4, I've got her over here. It is Stacy.
Oh my
Okay. So, Stacy, can I have you come out of the car so I can talk to you a little bit more?
God. What? Do what he says. Otherwise you're gonna have trouble.
We'll head back over here, okay? Okay. I appreciate it. So,
No problem.
are you ready to be honest with me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened?
What do you mean?
What Now, before you can 22 hunt is give me your side of the story. What's going on?
So,
Okay.
the truth is,
Tell you, like,
or maybe it's not.
just, what's your first name, Stacy?
Yeah.
Stacy, like at this point, the best thing that you can do, because I know that you said already that you like respect police and stuff like that, is just be honest with us, because we're already way past the stage of like, where is your car and how did you get here and where did you just come from? We're way past that. It's not helping your cause any. So if you are honest with Noah, down the road it might help you, because I mean, I don't know. I can't make any promises there, but just be honest with us about this. There's nothing to hide anymore. We already know what happened. Okay? We've been doing this a long time. This isn't our first day on the job.
Oh, I know it's not your first job on the rodeo.
So why don't you just tell us what happened so we can move along with this?
Well,
Based on what happened, I believe she was into a couple of... I believe she's... I haven't spoken with her, but based on what happened, I believe she was into a couple of crashes. She hit a tree in a house.
Oh my God! Wow, no, this
and
this is the first I've heard of it.
That's why her car didn't make it home with her.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit concerning, you know, that she's showing up and being upset. You know, if she's been drinking, certainly that's a concern because she hit somebody's house, right? Like somebody
Hit the
could.
house itself.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else show up with her when she got there?
No.
Did she say she was with somebody?
No, she babbled something. I was with, and then you know.
Nobody was.
I
with
couldn't
her?
make any sense of it. No, nobody. She was alone.
Okay.
But honestly, I couldn't make. I said, what happened? What happened? I couldn't make sense of anything.
Sure.
She was probably so worked up.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the help. You know, again, I don't think you probably witnessed what happened, same as I didn't, and we're both trying to piece together stuff based on.
I'm still.
He's got jet black hair, black spandex, black top. We know her. Yep. Right.
WI.
For what?
For OWI.
But I wasn't though.
Get charged with anything else.
Well, I didn't do anything bad. When can I get out of jail?
Quick minute, and then the two of them.
I don't want to go to jail. Dad.
What, darling? What do you?
Dad.
You couldn't even. You didn't even make any sense when I saw you.
But Dad,
What, darling? I don't know, Stacy. I don't know what to say. I didn't.
Well, Dad.
What, darling?
All right, fine. All right, fine. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my God. I don't understand what I'm being charged with. I really don't. Can you please inform me what I'm being charged with?
Yep, I told you it's going to be an OWI. It'll be 4th.
What do you mean?
It'll be your 4th OWI.
Sam 115.
Oh, well, that's not going to happen. The 4th OWI. But I wasn't driving. It's a joke. Can I just, get these handcuffs, off me?
Yeah, I know. Oh, Stacy.
Dad!
Hello?
Dad.
Oh, Stacy.
Dad, please come and get me.
Come and get you?
Yeah.
Let him know he'll be picking you up from the jail, though.
I know.
Where's your purse?
It's at the police station. I did
Nope,
something
you got it.
stupid.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
All right, are you ready to be released then?
Can I go home? Well, I'm asking the
Alex?
officer. Yeah, it's my dad. Can I go home?
Hey, Alex, what's going to happen is we're going to go to the police, or the jail, and you can pick her up from there if you want to. You might end up having to bail her out. I'm not 100% sure about that, though.
But I'm being charged with a felony.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your 4th?
Well,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a mess.
This
It's
is
a mess.
fucking bullshit.
Yeah, well,
Somebody has a drink. Oh, God.
That's okay. Don't worry. I will come and get you. Was your
Dad,
purse
I
in the vehicle?
know. Huh?
Was your purse in the vehicle?
You know what? We're just gonna stop talking right now.
Yes.
And we're just gonna talk.
What's up? Have a good one.
And foremost, and meeting your
where he delivers it from.
I can't cast that yet.
Here there.
Very good.
I had the privilege of covering Deion Sanders.
Time we so happy of that time because you a little later, Coach Calhoun, and it's interesting. We know what we have, we know what we teach, we know what we preach, and we don't cut deals. And one thing about it, we're going to stick to who we are. The standard is the standard, and we would not move the scale of the standard. We just didn't do.
Show with three great.
I don't know how to smile without looking terrible. My tactic, I mean, you saw in the girls' night photos, I just like James Franco it. My emoji, thank you for the 20 gifted. I appreciate it. Where you just smile big and look as high as possible. You just fall on like in every photo, and like you just look like you're high out of your mind and just cheesing. Like that is my go-to like face when I have to take a photo with other people. Like just look like you're high as fuck. Just James Franco fucking smile. That's been my tactic. I don't know why, but it's sometimes somehow it's better than everything else.
Has Ninja apologized?
I'm not gonna be on my phone.
That
Look. Don't.